Hi, I'm Michi, and welcome to Daily Reflections. We talked about appreciation, what it is, what it means to me, and how it is shown. And the question is, how did it come up? I said that I've been asked that question, and it was my partner, Sarah, who posed that question to me. And she did that in the course of doing research and preparing for one of her next talks. And the topic, as you can imagine, was appreciation. Now, there are a couple of very interesting things that she found while interviewing different kind of people and asking those questions. And those questions were, how do they define appreciation? Like, what's appreciation for them? How they show it, or how they want it to be shown towards themselves, how they show it towards others, and how they show appreciation to themselves. So there are a couple of interesting things she found doing this. And I'd like to illustrate it based on one sort of representative case that she told me about. So it's it's case specific, but plenty of other people gave similar answers, and what she identified was some kind of trend of how people view it. So given those four different questions asked in that order in one sitting, was that first of all, people had a very similar understanding of what appreciation is for them and gave similar answers to all of those four. So when it comes to appreciation, most said that it's about valuing people, valuing what they do, and having some kind of acknowledgement. And that was greatly reflected in the next question when they've been asked on how they want appreciation to be shown by others towards themselves. And what they gave as answers was that they want to be acknowledged, they want to hear by other people that they're thankful for their work, the effort they put in, and they want to feel appreciated by that, by others thanking them for what they do, who they are, and how they appear and behave. But once it got to the question on how they show appreciation towards others, uh, things kind of changed, and they changed that their answers got reduced to very limited of options of things they do, things they say to show appreciation. And the most two common answers was saying please and saying thank you to other people. And then the most surprising thing in those interviews was that given the question on how they show appreciation towards themselves, they completely lost track, got off board, because what they most of them said and answered was that to show appreciation to themselves, they take time for themselves, they do sports, they do something they like, they kind of give themselves the gift of taking time doing something they appreciate, they want some in that area. Now, what's most fascinating about that is if we have a look on those four different questions, which are all around the same topic and should yield the same answers, doesn't matter whether it's towards another person, towards oneself, or from myself to myself, it should all adhere to the same definition. But what really happened and what she's seen is that it's kind of cascading, and the further you go down, the further you deviate from that first kind of context, and then especially depending on the specific context, the answers vary greatly. And again, most surprisingly is that while the question of how they want to be want to experience appreciation, how they want others to show appreciation to them, very much adheres to how they define it. But then once you get to the question on how they show it to themselves, it has nothing to do with their standards, with their definitions, and they're kind of talking about something totally different. It's not a bad thing to take time for myself to do the things I love, but it's not the same as showing appreciation. So at that point, the question is, how do I show appreciation to myself? And if I define appreciation in terms of acknowledging my efforts, acknowledging what I do, my greatness, about acknowledging the good things I do towards other people, do to myself, then showing appreciation to myself should be exactly that same thing. And the way I do it, and again, it's based on how they define it, not how I would define it, not some globally accepted definition. It's how they define it for themselves. So now, how do I show appreciation to myself? First of all, based on that definition, I want to be thankful for who I am, what I do. Not all of what I do is good based on my standards, based on my values. But if I do the things, if I stick to my values, if I live up to them, then I want to be thankful for doing that. And whether I say it out loud or just say it to myself in my mind, that doesn't matter. But I want to be conscious about it. I want to reflect on it. I want to reflect on the things I do. And then I want to thank me for that. And that's in a nutshell what kind of self appreciation, showing appreciation to myself is. And based on what your definition of appreciation is, you might want to reflect on that and see whether that's in line on how you would or don't show appreciation towards yourself. So, my question is again, what's appreciation for you? How do you show it? How do you show it to others? And most importantly, how do you show appreciation towards yourself? That's it. It was a pleasure. Take care.